So what we've got here is a street light that turns on automatically on a night and turns off in the morning. So how did we come about getting this? Well, it's quite simple really. Let me turn time of day off. I've made my street light out of the general geometry, which is a cylinder, a ramp which is scaled, and then I've placed a spotlight, default spotlight. There, I'll just set the range for it. If you've got a lot of lights in your scene, you might want to disable the shadows. If you've got a not very good system, then it will improve performance. Anyhow, and then with the light on the light, with it selected, right click, add microscript, come into your properties for it, edit it, and you come up with a script editor. So this line for line, we're going to go, right, we'll set a boolean flag, which says, right, we're starting with the light off. So we're going to say is the light active? No, it's false, because time of day system starts at around about noon time, unless set otherwise in code. So to make sure that it's set to false, even though we have set it to false, we don't really need this bit in here. Active equals false. For this to use the time of day event system, so it registers, so it fires an event in the morning, and on the night you need to register it with the event system. So entity is to be registered with the time of day event system, the ID of this object, which is the light. And because we're starting during the day, we want the light to be turned off. So we'll set the visibility of it to 0. So this object's visibility is set to off. The time of day event process, like in the morning, it'll fire to all the objects that are registered to it, and on a evening to turn the lights on, it'll fire to this function, and it'll fire a value. So time of day event value. What we've got here is if the time of day isn't enabled, then we don't want it to process anything under this in this function. So if it isn't enabled, then it's going to just return and end this function. If it is enabled, it's going to check the value that's passed to see whether to turn the lights on or off. So if the value that's passed is set to 0, then we need to go to turn on function and not process any more of this function with the end statement. So to turn the lights on, so on a night when it gets dark, it's going to fire this event, give it a value of 0. We're going to check the 0, check it, and then we're going to go to this function here. So what we're also going to check on the first line is if active, the boolean up here, is set to true. If the light's already on, then just return and don't process anything underneath it in this function. But if it's set to false, once it's set the visibility of this object to 1, which is enabled, and then we want to change the boolean to true. In the morning, it'll fire this and say if the value is equal to 1, then we need to turn the lights off. So we're going to go to this function. Again, if the light's already off, then return, don't do anything else. But if it's set to true, so the light's on, we need to turn it off. So we need to set the visibility of this object, which is the light, to 0. I'm going to set the boolean to false. That is basically it. That's all you need to do. And then just set the time of day. press play and watch it go. Excuse me. One more thing. Once you've made it, you can save it as a preset. Let me just turn this off. You can save it as a preset, so you select them all, right click,